During last week's City Council meeting at Barrie City Hall, a range of topics were addressed. In celebration of National Poetry Month, Barrie's Poet Laureate Tyneisha Ternent shared a heartfelt poem. Dr. Linda Rotenberg, interim principal at Lakehead University, provided updates on the university's expansion in Simcoe County. Currently, Lakehead serves more than 2,000 students across 20 plus programs, generating an economic impact of more than $3 billion throughout Ontario and $250 million in Simcoe County. The university offers mental health and academic services and provides financial aid to 58% of students. Rotenberg reported that more than 97% of graduates find employment within 2 years, and with 91% securing jobs in their field of study. Lakehead University plans to increase its student body from 2,000 to 3,500, introduce 10 new programs tailored to communities' future needs, and boost its economic impact on Simcoe County to over $400 million annually. In addition, the council meeting featured inquiries and announcements. To view specific sections of the video, refer to the provided timestamps.
The City of Barrie acknowledges the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe people, which include the Ottawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi nations, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy. We also acknowledge the Wendat Nation Huron who occupied these lands prior to the middle of the 17th century. We are dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture and recognizing the enduring presence of Indigenous peoples on this land. We're committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect with all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. You may be seated. Thank you, members of council. We'll be starting with the confirmation of the minutes. The first item on the agenda today, the minutes of the City Council meeting held on March 29th, 2023 have been circulated. Are there any corrections from members of council? Seeing none, the minutes are adopted as printed and circulated. We'll move on to awards and recognition. There is one item under awards and recognition, and that is recognition of National Poetry Month. Poet Laureate Tyneisha Ternent is here today with us. In recognition of the month as National Poetry Month, I would like to call upon our Poet Laureate to approach the podium to say a few words and recite your poem today.
So my name is Tyneisha Ternent. My writer name is Ty the Poetess, and I wrote this piece in honor of National Poetry Month. On November 22nd of last year, this wreath was placed on my head as my wildest dreams became true. I was chosen to be the 4th Poet Laureate for the city of Barrie, given a prestigious title to hold for 4 years. And as I happily accepted, on the inside my heart felt as if it was about to burst into tears. For years, I was depressed and hated myself, but I wrote through my pains and learned to love myself. I chose to write as a way to release the emotions and pain that lived inside of me. I was able to heal by the powers of poetry. As I healed, I learned that my past should not be a concern because I was blessed with the ability to write. And with each word, I could give up or I could fight. I could focus on past mistakes or embrace the lessons learned. I could use my poetry to display the strength I had earned. And now, as I stand here today, it's important that I take a second and acknowledge this historical moment being made. My ancestors are proud and smiling in their graves. I can hear them cheering and clapping and laughing, shouting, "Hooray!" I am the first Black Poet Laureate to represent the city of Barrie, also the first mother. I understand that without my sisters and brothers surviving and thriving in this community, standing here right now may have not been an option for me. I sincerely thank you all for gathering here today to celebrate the National Month of Poetry, a style of writing that displays strength while displaying vulnerability. As the Poet Laureate, it is my duty to be an ambassador of the arts, but not just for poetry, which is why I have been creating opportunities for artists of all kinds. participate in open mics while also creating events that highlight rap and hip-hop culture in a brighter light in its relation to spoken word. I vowed to be the people's poet, and I've only just begun to honor this by ensuring that my actions always show it. It's only been 5 months since this crown was placed on my head, but as you can tell, I am one who does not play around. I take this role seriously because being a poetry leader in this community means the world to me. Through creative writing, I found my place in life. So I encourage you all to pick up a pen and paper and write. Write through your heartbreaks, write through your struggles, write through your tear-filled nights, write through all your obstacles in life. Write down your biggest dreams, write down what you wish you could loudly scream. Write whatever your heart desires, because I promise you, when you look back at that pen and paper, it will not appear the same. Because when you write from your heart, you are releasing the pain, choosing to gain everything that you deserve. A pen in hand is more dangerous than a knife, and a powerful poem lives on after its writer's life. Poetry saves lives. I know this statement is true. So I ask you again to pick up that pen and paper and see how poetry can heal you too. Thank you.
Ty, thank you so much for...
First time here, can you tell? I'm
that's
excited though.
That's all good. Thank you so much for sharing that with us today. And I think that you've shown us again and again, and certainly tonight is no different. That you're doing our city very, very, very proud, and certainly the skills and talents that you have. Thank you for sharing them with us and with the world. I wanted to before we move past this portion, we have a proclamation for the month of April 2023 as National Poetry Month. So I'm going to read that out, and then I'm going to come and present you with this proclamation and certificate. Okay, so
Thank you.
whereas National Poetry Month celebrates poetry in all forms and contributions that poets, writers, and speakers of poetry bring to our communities, and whereas National Poetry Month originated in the United States in 1996 and was first established in Canada in 1998, National Poetry Month now brings together schools, publishers, authors, libraries, literacy organizations, and poets from across the country to celebrate poetry and the vital role it plays in Canadian culture. And in 2023, National Poetry Month celebrates with the theme Joy. And whereas poetry reaffirms our common humanity by revealing that individuals everywhere share the same thoughts, questions, and feelings, and whereas poetry is a mainstay of oral tradition and over centuries can communicate the innermost values of our diverse culture here in the city of Barrie, and whereas thousands of organizations participate through readings, festivals, book displays, workshops, and other events, therefore, I, Alex Nettle, Mayor of the City of Barrie, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2023 to be National Poetry Month and encourage all citizens of the City of Barrie to read, write, and create and engage in our local arts and culture. And it's signed by myself, and I'll come and present that to you right now. I don't want to brag, but I did just walk all the way over there. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Kungl. Leave be granted to introduce this bill.
Sorry, Deputy Mayor Thompson, I'm going to actually ask you to hold that till exactly, put the brakes on, and we're going to jump past defer business and direct motions and move into presentations prior to bylaws. There's one presentation concerning an update on the Lakehead University Aurelia campus. I'll now call upon Dr. Linda Rotenberg, Interim Principal, and Michael Den Haan, Vice President of External Relations from Lakehead University, to approach the podium to provide the presentation this evening. Welcome to Barrie City Council.
Thank you, Mayor Nettle, and thank you, councillors, for taking the time to hear from us today. My name is Dr. Linda Rotenberg. I'm the interim principal at Lakehead's Aurelia campus, and I just want to acknowledge as I begin my colleague here, Mike Den Haan, the Vice President, External Relations. We've also brought with us Dr. Rebecca Heffernan, who's our Research and Strategic Initiatives Facilitator, as well as Michael Nyson in Government Relations, and Jackie Kent, who's key to our External Relations team, in case you have questions that they might help us with at the end of this presentation. I should begin by saying, I guess to tie it into the tree theme for this evening, that we have laid down very solid roots here in Simcoe County, both in Barrie and in Aurelia, and we're looking now to have conversations with our surrounding communities and stakeholders about how we branch out as we move forward. So that's why we're here today. And indeed, as we were driving here tonight, I was really thinking about how close we are in proximity as driving here from Aurelia, and that there is very much a shared energy and a shared potential that is evident in both of our communities today. And so we're excited to have a conversation about that with you tonight. I'm going to share a little bit of an update, tell you a little bit about Lakehead's story. As most of you will know, we arrived in this community in 2006, and at that point we had 101 students, and the majority of those students were from Barrie. And I was here as a member of faculty at that time and really got to know those students and really leaned into meeting the needs of our students from Barrie. Since then, we've been growing exponentially. We now have 2,104 students at Lakehead in Aurelia and also in our Lakehead Georgian Partnership right here in Barrie. We have more than 20 undergraduate and graduate programs, 7 faculties of studies, and what you, I'm sure, see every day here in your community is that we also have 253 employees at Lakehead Aurelia and Lakehead Georgian who are deeply committed to participating in the communities that they live in and thrive in. We have a very special community on campus, a community that really is designed to meet the needs of Simcoe County. We came to Simcoe County in 2006 in part because there was a lower than provincial average uptake of university education, and we wanted to lean into that. And currently 94% of our domestic undergraduate students have at least one barrier to education that we are helping them overcome as they come and become part of our small but mighty community. In relation to that, we offer all kinds of mental health services as well as academic services. We also, 58% of our students also access financial aid while they're with us. And we really are committed to providing an accessible education here in Simcoe County and to the students in Barrie. This enables the creation of a unique campus community, and that community has a real impact on the larger communities in which we operate. Part of that impact is an economic impact. Lakehead University in Ontario has an economic impact of $3.563 billion. And at Lakehead and Aurelia and in our partnership program, that's $245.7 million coming just out of our campuses here in Simcoe County and this area. We also make a strong commitment to internationalization and innovation, and of course that's at the heart of this economic impact and the way we can lean into it as we move forward. In terms of our relationship with Barrie, it's absolutely a strong one and comes through particularly in our student body. We have 294 current undergraduate students from the city of Barrie. 681 Lakehead alumni are living and working right here in the city of Barrie. And one of the other ways that we're really, I think, making an impact here in your community is in that internationalization. We have 86 international students on our campus in Aurelia and even more right here in our Lakehead Georgian Partnership programs. They represent 27 different countries, and those students, many of them take up the opportunity to get a work permit following their study. It opens up a pathway to 3 years of employment, and then opens up another pathway to permanent residency. Many of those people are choosing to move to Barrie and work and live in your community. And so these are stories that are really about talent, and it's very important to us that we prepare our students for employment here in Barrie and throughout Simcoe County as they graduate. Students rank Lakehead as one of the top 10 universities in Canada and top 3 in Ontario, preparing them for employment. And it comes through, I think, as a result of our focus on work-integrated learning opportunities right from their very first year of study. So 100% of our programs incorporate experiential learning, and 97.7% of our students are employed within the 2 years of graduation. And I think perhaps more importantly to those students, 91% of them have jobs related to their field of study. And this is a stat that I'm particularly proud of, that I think is related to that unique campus environment that we have managed to create on our campuses. 83% of our students from year 1 are retained in year 2. And so that means that people who come to Lakehead University and to the Lakehead Georgian Partnership programs, they stay in those programs and they're able to return to their communities to work and to thrive. Another really important story that we have to share is one related to research and innovation. We have, as a result of our strengths as an entire institution, a really high level of access to not only the researchers that are doing important work right here in Barrie and in Aurelia, but also throughout the province and nationally and internationally, because we have those connections not only to the research faculty members who are doing work here, but also the ones that are active in their research in Thunder Bay as well. We also really focus our research on partnership potential. We have 116 industry and not-for-profit industry partnerships, and many research chairs that are advancing our work on the world stage. Another thing that's really important, maybe even most important to me, it's closest to my heart, is our really important strength in community engagement and lifelong learning. So my second role on campus is that I'm in charge of this particular part of what we do, and we're very committed to lifelong learning as a process. And I think that's really important here in Simcoe County in particular, where we're engaging students from a young age. We go out into elementary schools, but we also have really important programming in relation to high school students. We were at Bear Creek School actually just a couple of weeks ago doing a partnership program with Parks Canada, where we were talking about bear safety training and really opening up some of our doors to students so that they could see themselves and picture themselves within the university environment. We also have more than 750 third-age learners that are learning with us. Right now, we have some people from your hospital that are speaking in a lecture series to this group that's on the future of healthcare in our province. And that's a very, very well-received program. We also have 150 partnerships with municipalities, government, research institutes, and industry. And of course, some of those partnerships are right here in Barrie, and it's great to see Stephanie here tonight in support of the work that you do, and we work very closely with her. I'm going to turn it over now to Mike to talk a little bit about what's next at Lakehead.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, mayors and council. And I'm conscious of your time, so I'm gonna breeze through these last slides. I really appreciate your time. So we're at a bit of an interesting moment in time, and we're asking what is next for Lakehead University. And you can be proud that Lakehead University is one of the highest, and indeed the highest ranked university in the world, Impact University, with under 10,000 students in the Times Higher Ed Impact Rankings. The Aurelia campus is now at 2,000 students. Our buildings are full. We're once again looking into the future to grow, and we remain committed to the county as we do that and look at that. This means we aim to grow our student body from 2,000 to 3,500 students. We aim to add 10 new programs that will align with the community, the future needs of this region, and we anticipate that this will increase the economic impact of Simcoe County campus to over $400 million per year. So our future is growth and service. These are some of the programs we already offer today from our Simcoe County campus. You see a number of them have co-op placement opportunities. All those with asterisks have co-op placements and are thriving at the moment. And we're also looking at what's next. What kind of programs can we offer that are both degree and non-degree programming? We're looking at labor market study right now. We have new labor market data that is helping us understand this. It's looking at everything from work integrated learning, and we're seeing very strong themes: nursing, psychiatry, financial officers, mental health support, tourism, education, marketing, public relations, all areas that we do well and we're currently working in. So we're now consulting with regional partners, with Georgian people and services like the Barrie Police Service, CFB Borden, all the major regional partners here, as well as big and small neighbors that we have in the region, to understand what their needs are, how we can align, and how we can work together to meet the region's needs. We know we can't do it alone. As a note, one of our strengths is that we're small, and we do small in big ways. This means that our growth strategy must be strategic, focused, and impactful. This work we're now doing with other partners, consulting, research, data analysis, will help to ensure we do it that way. And that brings me to the end. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. It's great to be here with you this evening. Through the mayor, we're both happy to take questions.
Thank you so much to both of you for the presentation this evening, and to other representatives from Lakehead joining us this evening as well. Are there questions or comments with regards to the presentation? Councillor Kungl.
Thank you, through you, Mayor Nettle. Welcome, and I am one of your alumni that is living and working in Barrie. So it's always nice to see how academic life filters into how people, choose to work and live, and where programmings are so I think, important about how people can apply that in different ways in your partnerships across municipalities and through Georgian College. I did have a question. In this economic climate, knowing that you've got growth objectives, and it's exciting to hear your goals to growing from, I think it was 2,000 to 3,500, if that's correct. I didn't know, and I haven't been following closely, but what are we seeing and hearing from the Minister of Universities and Colleges around investment in secondary education? And are you seeing that there are particular areas of interest, knowing that, so I come from the health field. That was an area from public health that Lakehead served very well from a reputable programming, and seeing that has continued to, my assumption has been, a strength of universities like yourselves, meeting the need of a health sector that's growing, and we'll see health human resource impacts that, will compound what we are already dealing with. So I didn't know if there are particular programs or if you're moving into more of the trades, or are you finding that you're leaning that growth towards where you're seeing potential investment by a government who might have certain priorities around meeting the needs in the health system?
That's a great question, and through the mayor, happy to address it. We're finding the government of Ontario is investing very strategically and very, very focused ways in higher education. Okay. As it turns out, tomorrow I'm in Guelph to be part of an announcement with the government about a new veterinary medicine program, and the government is wisely investing in that area because the need is so huge. They've just invested in the Waterloo campus. You might have seen a new innovation building that Waterloo's building, and the government of Ontario is investing in that. So we're finding it's very focused, very strategic, and Lakehead's one of the very few universities in this budget this year, and we feel very fortunate about that.
Thank you for that, because I know your program is heavily, is well regarded around veterinary tech, I believe, and some of the other programs. So very strategic, actually, around that area focus. So great to see that is a spotlight from a government support. Is there anything that you're looking for more specifically from the community of Barrie around, how to support attracting those individuals? Is that something, having recently been in Aurelia, you will find that housing is being met on site with your campus or in the planning there, and this is really around unique partnerships with the city in different ways around job opportunities or co-op?
These are questions we're asking as well.
Okay.
And what we're hoping is we can work with the city to better understand the city's needs and how we can align and work together to meet those needs. So it's still early days in that way, and we're hoping we can work more closely with the city on this, actually.
That'd be great. And my last kind of comment or question is, it would be very interesting to see what that labor force market survey comes out with, and would welcome if you're able to share that through Stephanie or otherwise, but somehow back with members of council.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kungl. Councillor Rittmer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Two questions. I see on the on one of your slides there that there are 4 programs that you are offering here in Barrie. Can you enlighten us? What programs are you looking to add here in this city with Georgian, or do you have any thoughts on that at this point?
Yeah, thank you for your question through the mayor. Exactly, those are the questions we're asking now. We're in conversation with Georgian about a few possibilities, and we're seeing real needs in certain areas like mechatronics, electrical engineering. These are areas we do really well in. We've just launched a 4-year mechatronics program, and we think the region is ready for something like that. So these are exactly the conversations we're having with Georgian and with other regional partners. So it's still early days. We're still understanding what that looks like, which is also why these studies are important, and we want to work more closely with the City of Barrie to understand that too.
Just to follow up, thank you for that. I guess my last question is, what's your ask here tonight? What would you really like the City of Barrie to do to support you?
Through the mayor, that's such a wonderful question. Thank you. And it's also early days to answer that question, because I mean, we could come here. We've got big ambitions, and big ambitions come with great need. But we want to be focused as well and strategic. So we want to make sure that our future is going to be bright for everyone, and we're lifting the tides for all boats. We know we can't do it alone, so we have to work with our partners, which includes the City of Barrie. I think this is a bit of a new conversation in some ways for us, which we welcome.
Councillor Morales.
Thank you, Mayor Nettle. For you to the deputants, in a theoretical scenario where you expand in Barrie and acquire land, grow, or lease space, do you currently have a student housing build-out policy for your existing campus in Aurelia or for future expansions? Do you have a policy that dictates if we create an area of growth that has 1,000 students, we will, not want to, but shall create X number of student housing beds?
Through the mayor, great question. I'm going to look to my colleagues. I don't think we do. Yeah, we're currently out of space. Our residence is full on our Aurelia campus. That means 300 students? 230 students. We're not quite at 1,000 yet, but our ambitions are that someday we will, and that's something we'll need to absolutely address at some point in the future.
Perfect. And since you guys aren't making an ask yet, it's all good. But for at least, I'm going to speak for myself only. In any future possible capital ask about expansion, that is going to be a huge priority for me. Because the current situation with Georgian has left much to be desired in terms of expansion and missing inventory for student housing that has been affecting the North End quite terribly. And I can say that as a resident of that area for 21 years.
Yeah, thank you.
Councillor Hamilton.
Thank you, and through you, Mayor Nettle. Just in relation to the growth targets on your slide here, you mentioned the recruitment enroll over 3,500 students at the Aurelia campus by 2032. Do you have similar growth targets for the Georgian campus?
That includes the Georgian campus.
It does, okay.
So that'll be all encompassing.
All encompassing, thank you.
Seeing no other questions, thank you so much for the presentation this evening. And I know that I want to give a bit of recognition to one of our staff members in the mayor's office, Eric, who has worked to set up meetings in the past and start some of the discussions here. With regards to your presentation, and I think that I expressed this in our private meeting previously, that we are incredibly blessed with Georgian College, but there's also a gap in our market here. And when I look at, I'm going to be really, really blunt here. When I see you say that you want to increase your economic impact in Aurelia to $400 million, it makes me angry because I don't want that for Aurelia. No offense, Aurelia. I want that for Barrie. Yeah. And we've for a long time been promised a university by multiple people who've either sought office or been in the education world. And it's perplexing for the residents of the city of Barrie that we have a city of called 160K without a fulsome university in our geographic border, and half an hour, 25 minutes up the highway, a city of 30,000 has a university partner that's looking to increase their economic impact to $400 million. I think that says it all for us. So, as you're going through your strategic plan, how can we help? Rather than it's too early for an ask and it's too early for those types of things. So, tell us how we can help impact your strategic plan to help our residents and our young people specifically be able to have access to that an expanded role right here in the community.
Thank you for your question and your passion. And if this helps make you feel a little bit better, the $400 million is for the whole region. It's not just the city of Barrie or city of Aurelia, sorry, the whole region, and includes Barrie. So there's a part of that definitely comes. I couldn't parcel that out for you, but I imagine we could work at it. But I understand what you're saying. I understand your point, and we would love to work with the city to map that out together and see what that means together. I think it's going to take some work together to do it, and we're there. So we'd love to do that.
Thank you. And I guess one other point I just want to leave with you is we have see Representatives of Georgian College in the audience tonight, and we are incredibly blessed with the relationships that have been built by some of our key industry in town and Georgian College. And I think there's a lot to be had there. I think about innovative automation. Just an incredible relationship there. I think 60% of their employees get pulled through Georgian College. You're talking about electrical engineering and some of this work that builds into EV and all of those other items. Has your university looked at that side of it, in the sense that your employment seems to be a major piece? When it comes to the city of Barrie, I would guess that there's nowhere else in Simcoe County for sure, perhaps north of the GTA, that would have that type of opportunity for young people right in the community, on transit, all of those things that make it accessible. Is that something that you folks have looked at in terms of, as you're starting to look down your strategic plan going forward?
We have, yeah, and Linda probably knows a little more of how we've done that. I'd say we haven't looked deeply, only enough to say, wow, there is real potential there. And it's probably fair to say, and I feel you probably share this view, that it's not a zero-sum game, that this is work we need to do together anyway. We're good partners, Georgian and Lakehead. We're good partners with others in the community. We're good urban partners as well. And it's work we have to do together going forward. So this is stuff we can work together on, and it's stuff that will, again, lift the tide for all boats.
Thank you so much again for the presentation, and I know that our team's going to certainly be in touch to try to move things forward as you're going through that strategic planning. And there's always an open door here, not just for myself, but as you can tell from all 11 members of council and certainly all of our EMT are here to be a resource for you going forward. So thank you again for making the trek out this evening.
It's truly wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, council.
Thank you. That is our final deputation of the evening. There are no tax applications or communications, so we're going to go directly to committee reports. Deputy Mayor Thompson, I believe you have the motions for our committee reports.
Thank you, Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Kungl. The first General Committee report dated April 5th, 2023, as circulated, be adopted.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Thompson. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and it's seconded by Councillor Kungl that the first General Committee report dated April 5th, 2023, as circulated, be adopted. 23-G-071, Barrie Hydro Holdings, Inc., Annual General Meeting Matters. Are there any questions or comments with regards to the motion on the floor? Seeing none, all those in favor? And it carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Kungl, that Section A of the Second General Committee report dated April 5th, 2023, as circulated, be received.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Kungl, that Section A of the Second General Committee report dated April 5th, 2023, as circulated, be received. 23-G-072, report of the Community Safety Committee dated March 22nd, 2023. 23-G-073, report of the Affordability Committee dated March 22nd, 2023. Are there any questions or comments with regards to the motion on the floor? Seeing none, all those in favor? And it carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Kungl, that Section B of the Second General Committee report dated April 5th, as circulated, be adopted.
Thank you. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Kungl, that Section B of the Second General Committee report dated April 5th, as circulated, be adopted. This is 23-G-074, Municipal Street Naming for Streets in the Harvey Road Draft Plan of Subdivision, Ward 6. 23-G-075, Zoning Bylaw Amendment Application for 181 Burton Avenue, Ward 8. 23-G-076, Gulfdale Road, No Parking Anytime Restrictions, Ward 4. 23-G-077, the 2023 tax ratios. 23-G-078, the 2022 year-end development charge reports and treasurer's statement. 23-G-079, the 2022 year-end cash in lieu of parkland report and treasurer's statement. 23-G-080, the invitation to present downtown Barrie business improvement area. Are there any questions or comments with regards to the motion on the floor? Seeing none, all those in favor? And it carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Kungl, that Section C of the Second General Committee report dated April 5th, 2023, as circulated, be adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Kungl, that Section C of the Second General Committee report dated April 5th, 2023, as circulated, be adopted. 23-G-081, the zoning bylaw amendment for 303 Cundles Road East, Panati North, Barrie Limited, Ward 3. Are there any questions or comments with regards to the motion that's on the floor? Seeing none, all those in favor? And it carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Kungl, that Section D of the Second General Committee report dated April 5th, 2023, as circulated, be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Kungl that Section D of the Second General Committee report dated April 5th, 2023, as circulated, be adopted. This is 23-G-082, the private tree bylaw and ecological offsetting review. Are there any questions or comments with regards to the matter on the floor?
I'd like to put an amendment on the floor.
Do you have it in front of you that you can?
I do.
The presentation's being complete. We're now at inquiries. Are there any inquiries this evening? Councillor Kungl.
Thank you. I did have an inquiry, and without necessarily pulling a circulation list it was a general one, so I'm hoping I'm not putting stuff on the spot, but the brightening barriers attention that we are getting has been phenomenal, and I think Caroline Ryan was here earlier. So if I may, I'll redirect my questions to you, Ms. Schlichter, and by all means, get back to me if you don't have them on hand. I read the report and have been appreciating a lot of the graffiti abatement approach through the wrapped brightening barriers cabinet wraps as being more in the downtown core in relationship to some of the businesses in the BA that have sponsored that. I totally appreciate the structure of the process by which different committees and individuals have gone about engaging members of our art community and having that then going through the selection process. Is this a program that has any intention in being replicated across the city in a more broad base, or would that be more of a conversation with you and I individually around how could I expand that particular type of program into Ward 3?
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Kungl. So there's a couple of programs in there. The Brightening Barriers one specifically is focused in the downtown, working with downtown patios on sort of those pieces. At this point, given our funding and program, I suspect that our intent is to keep it downtown. This is our third year, and after every year as a group, we reassess interest, functionality. Is this something you continue? Is this something you move on? But I would say downtown patio owners continue to be receptive and supportive, and so we would assess that again after this year to determine. The second program relates to the traffic cabinets themselves and the work that's happening there. And I don't have Carolyn with me or our traffic group, but I do believe, and I will stand corrected tomorrow morning if I am incorrect, but as I understand, we are working with that. They work specifically to build up some additional, so instead of 3, I think they're up to 5. And the thought is as we're replacing cabinets around the city, that they would be replaced. So the intent is that it won't just be focused on downtown. The traffic cabinet program would be citywide. Where those are going to land, I don't have that information today. We can keep you posted. But the feeling is, and I believe the intent with that program, because our traffic cabinets are everywhere, that those would be spread everywhere.
If I may, a quick follow-up through you, Deputy Mayor Thompson, to Ms. Schlichter. I'd love to know, I won't speak for the members of council, but I'm hoping to do some resident engagement around that $25,000 I have available through my term. I would really love to merge heritage with the Legion and veterans being a focal point in Ward 3 and some of our road naming. Plus, we've done extensive work with Barrie Police and residents around graffiti. That still continues to be an issue. So for me, it maps well. I'd love to bring this type of concept forward if it doesn't put a strain on the capacity of the current program as it's run, and or if staff could provide any feedback, should it be of interest to other members. Could this be spread if a councillor sponsored a wrap and or partnered with businesses as an engagement opportunity in their ward? Or should we let this program rest as it is, wait to see, if you grow out into other aspects of the city, or can we position an interest forward if we can help to sponsor the cost?
Through you, Deputy Mayor Thompson, to Councillor Kungl. If I may ask a question of clarification, is that in reference to the Brightening Barriers program specifically?
It would be the cabinet wraps specifically.
Okay, perfect. Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Kungl. I certainly think so, and I believe that there is a report coming forward through the clerk related in general around the councillors' funding. We are providing some information on looking at incorporating, or how councillors can incorporate temporary public art projects and some of that information. So that will be coming forward, but certainly I think we're all open to that discussion and opportunity if that's something that we want to pursue. I think some of it would be dependent on the approach with the cabinets, how they're done. So I'd want some consultation with our folks in traffic through Michelle's team, but I certainly think we could get some information that way.
That's great. Thank you. No further questions, and I'll watch for the report and then reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kungl. Are there any other inquiries this evening? Councillor Morales.
Thank you, Mayor Lehman. Quick inquiry. Ooh, I don't drink that much. I'll give you a coffee. Sorry. I don't get embarrassed easily.
Councillor Morales is wishing that we didn't ask for an inquiry. So
I don't get embarrassed easily. Maybe that's an issue. Mayor Nuttall, my inquiry is to the clerks, to the clerk, Ms. Cook. On the circulation list, there is in the section A1 230419 key performance indicators. Is this the appropriate time? I've never done this, to refer this to either reference committees or actually the task force, the priority and planning task force.
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Morales, next week at General Committee would be the appropriate time. That's when we consider the circulation list and any referrals of memos or items.
Okay. Sorry, unnecessarily embarrassed myself.
So you're a week early. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. That's
better than being late.
You're on your game. Any other questions? Councillor Harris, did I see a question up there? Nope. Okay, I think that is it for inquiries and announcements.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. I'm just going to triple check now. I just wanted, Mayor Nuttall, through you, just to read this, to add this to the circulation list for next week through Ms. Cook. We got a petition, and what I like about this is there's a couple details here. It was dated March 23rd, so before we started talking about the tree bylaw. And it has content that is kind of indirectly related to a lot of the things members of council were saying. And the petition was essentially to support our green spaces, members of council, to get more of that tree canopy, to get more of that mental health benefits that we have across the city, especially in the north end. And it reads from some Ward 9 residents. And it was basically to you, and I'll read it very quick. Thank you, Mayor Alex, for being available for Sergio to put you on speakerphone during his morning time with us here at the terraces. We were pleased to hear you say that even with your busy schedule, you would like to come and see this situation at Painswick Library. You, Sergio, and anyone else would always be welcome to come in for a chat at my place. Stay well. The specific portion of the letter was this. Our Painswick Library celebrated the 11th anniversary on March 11th, 2023. But this project has not yet been completed. When built 11 years ago, in 2012, the remaining area was to be developed as a green park. Our Painswick Horticultural Society planted the first mature oak tree on the edge of what is now to be the park. We at the terraces have been known to be community-minded since we first arrived in the block in 2001, which this was a new development, a new neighborhood back then. We have been actively engaged in helping to better our neighborhood. Then the writer gives examples on things they've done. And then finally, we now have the opportunity, once again, to help make our walkable neighborhood more appealing. We are using our collective voice with our signatures and letter to request that our long overdue Painswick Library Park be a priority for development in 2023. Members of council, for those that don't have context about what they're talking about, the city owns a small strip of land beside Painswick, and the goal was for it to be developed in the future. They didn't want to do the capital investments right away. But the one thing that didn't happen was the dirt that was moved to build the library was just left there. And I'm not criticizing anybody, but it was like, okay, we'll get to it when we get to it. And now the costs to move it are significant, or enough that it's not a quick amendment. I can't use my community fund to do it. So it's an impediment on something that is a space that we can add. It would complement the mature oak tree that the writer is talking about, contribute to improve mental health, not only for the seniors at the terraces, but for the whole neighborhood. And I think ties in Mayor Nuttall very nicely to kind of the discussion we had earlier. So I would submit it to the clerk and let you make a few comments.
Thank you, Councillor Morales. And Madam Clerk, the petition that was submitted to Councillor Morales and I, can that be added to the circulation list going forward as formally received?
Yes, I can add it to the circulation list.
Thank you. And Thank you, Councillor Morales, for getting that onto the record. I know it's very frustrating in the newer areas when folks are getting through their 10-year anniversary and the parks aren't done. And we had that problem in Ward 10 where Councillor Hamilton is now, and I think we dealt with it. But obviously, there's been some oversights over time with regards to those items. So thank you. Another example of, I think, our processes at work, and hopefully we'll see something done on that site. Any other announcements for the evening? I'm going to go to Councillor Nixon, then Councillor Rittman, and then I'm going to go to Councillor Kungl. So Councillor Nixon.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. I just want to announce that the Barrie Food Bank is holding a charity softball game on May the 6th at the Barrie Community Sports Complex. It's kind of in the similar vein to the Barn Burner hockey game, which Mayor Nuttall has been doing a great job the last few years looking after. I guess the only difference is in the Barn Burner game, most of the players have some talent, where this may not be the case. Basically, we're taking the Barrie Baycats, kind of splitting them in half and filling both teams with some local folks from the world of sports, media, some community leaders, and of course, some politicians. I should mention we have a couple at the table that will be playing that night. Mayor Nuttall has agreed to join us in some capacity or another, depending on how the foot is doing. And Councillor Morales, who tells me he's a talented catcher, is going to be playing as a catcher for one of the teams. And if coming out and having a good time wasn't enough to make you buy a ticket, watching someone throw things at Sergio for a couple hours has got to be worth the price of admission right there.
All for a good cause.
All for a good cause, yes, certainly. So, anyways, Home Runs for the Hungry is the name of the event. All information can be found at homerunsforthehungry.ca or search it in any social media platform. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Nixon. Councillor Rittman, before I go to you, I neglected the worded councillor earlier, so I apologize, but I'm going to go to Councillor Harris.
Hey, gee, thanks, Mayor Nuttall. I just wanted to quickly announce that this weekend, the City of Barrie will be hosting the Under-13 AA Provincial Championships, Ontario Hockey Federation Championships for the Under-13 AA. We'll kick off with an event on Thursday night. I believe Deputy Mayor Thompson will be there. And if you want to cheer on your Barrie Colts, they play their first game at 10 a.m. At the Allendale Community Center on Friday. So get out and support your local team. And if you're worried about how the Leafs performed, go watch some minor hockey. It'll make you feel better about hockey, and go Colts. And I just want to shout out to Steve Fontaine from MR Hockey and host organizing committee chair Wendy Massey for all the work they put in to make this provincial event a success in Barrie. And good luck, and go Colts, go.
Thank you, Councillor Harris, and Councillor Rittman.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. This afternoon, Mr. Mayor, you and I were at the public information session for the Performing Arts Center, and I just wanted to let people know that you did miss it today, but you can be there tomorrow at the Peggy Hill Recreation Center from 4 to 7. It's a public information center dealing with the future of the Performing Arts Center. Actually, I thought it was extremely interesting this afternoon. My second announcement is that it's only 4 sleeps away. April the 23rd, this Sunday, will be our town hall at for Ward 1, and it's at the Parkview Center from 2 till 4, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of Ward 1 there. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Rittman, and Councillor Kungl.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Nuttall, I have a couple of announcements. So one that might touch on other pieces that you may speak to, but I did want to talk a bit about National Volunteer Week. And so from my work in this community to resident engagement and what we're seeing around activating our city around Spring into Clean, I just wanted to thank all those volunteers across our city that make a huge difference in how we function and how we stay connected. And we saw that a lot through COVID, and we continue to see those really strong relationships sustain themselves. So on that note, to segue around volunteers, I wanted to particularly thank the volunteers around residents that took the time to apply and are now sitting on our city committees. And so Communities in Bloom, the committee has launched. We met on Tuesday evening, and we will continue to meet. I believe it's been confirmed the first Tuesday of the month from 4 to 6 p.m. And on that, please watch for opportunities to register for Communities in Bloom. I'm hoping to highlight more formally that last year, the judging results came out kind of at the middle of provincial campaign, but I'm not sure many realized that we achieved gold. And we had incredible feedback from the judges in a spotlight. Communities in Bloom, while we love our flowers, is more than just garden beds. And so it really does touch on natural heritage to climate action and broader strokes. So I welcome you as fellow members of council to maybe even have a friendly competition about who can get rid of their first 25, maybe to 50 registration cards that you might find that I'll be sending around to residents as you're at your local events. The color this year is purple, so while it's too early to plant, if you are planting your gardens, that is the color of the year. And in addition to that, Councillor Hamilton will be joining me Thursday, and I believe we will be finally launching the last of our committee. So Active Transportation and Sustainability starts on Thursday evening. Our first meeting is from 5 to 7 p.m. And all this lovely conversation around Volunteer Week and our tree bylaw leads into Earth Day this Saturday. And so I'm excited to, as we talk about supporting some of our not-for-profits and community agencies, if you want to see me in action on Saturday, I'll be at Tacos and Trivia with Living Green, who do an incredible job, both through active transportation and sustainability, but also with staff around supporting our programs around growing our tree canopy. So if you want to learn more about how you can also get engaged in different elements there, take a look at Living Green. On Earth Day with the Spring Into Clean, I want to thank Clean Up Barrie. So this is a group if you're interested in volunteering with. It's a Facebook page that's open, and they are active, I would say, almost year-round, around cleaning up different areas across the city. But specific to Ward 3, I will be at Little Lake Park Saturday at noon after the Farmers Market from 12 to 1:30, and then Sunday at the East Bayfield Community Park by the basketball courts from 2 to 3:30, and welcome residents to join me as we do a bit of a litter pickup.
Thank you, Councillor Kungl. With regards to Spring Into Clean, I think our senior leadership team will actually be out at Heritage Park on Friday. So thank you to each of you for leading from the front. I know it's obviously an important thing, especially you think about after the melt comes. There's unfortunately a lot of debris left around, and it's really important that we not only for the aesthetics that we ensure the cleanups happen around the city and obviously the environment, but also in many instances there's a safety piece to this as well. So we always want to keep a nice clean city for obviously our families to enjoy. So thank you to all of the members who are going to be coming out and participating in that from the community this weekend, but certainly thank you to our senior leadership team for stepping up and leading from the front on that as well. Councillor Kungl, in regards to the items for, I forgot the name of it now, I've just brought it up, but the Communities in Bloom, make sure you tell them about our new tree bylaw, because I think that'll get us some points.
Will do.
Thank you. I'd like to proclaim April 25th as Parental Alienation Awareness Day. The city is looking for input on the preliminary design concepts for the Performing Arts Center proposed for the former Fisher Auditorium site. Members of the public can attend the session on April the 20th between 4 and 7 p.m. at the Peggy Hill Community Center. For further information, please visit barrie.ca/performingarts. The City of Barrie will be hosting an affordable housing symposium on May the 4th at the South Shore Community Centre, 205 Lakeshore Drive, between 4 and 8 p.m. The event will feature guest speakers, panel discussions, a screening of the documentary Searching for Home, and the opportunity to provide feedback on the city's affordable housing strategy. Participants must register in advance. For further information or to register, visit buildingbarrie.ca/affordable housing. The Barrie Air Show will be returning to the skies over Kempenfelt Bay on June 10th and 11th. The event will feature fun programming all weekend long, demonstrations, and the iconic Canadian Forces snowbirds. For further information, please visit barrie.ca/airshow. Nominations are now open for the 5th Annual Mayor's Innovation Awards. The awards celebrate the year's most creative solutions from businesses, individuals, and local community groups. The theme this year is Beyond the New Normal. Nominations are open to Barrie businesses, organizations, and individuals from all sectors, stages, and sizes. The submission deadline is May the 28th. For further information, visit investbarrie.ca/innovation awards. The City of Barrie is hosting an online rain barrel sale until April 30th, 2023. Rain barrels can be purchased by residents online at enviroworld.ca/Barrie. For further information, please visit barrie.ca/water conservation or call 705-726-4242. The City of Barrie is creating a new comprehensive zoning bylaw, which is designed to implement the vision and policies of Barrie's adopted official plan. Visit buildingbarrie.ca/zoning to review the first draft document, share your input, and learn more. The deadline for feedback is April the 28th. The City of Barrie will be participating in the 2023 City Nature Challenge from April 28th to May 1st. This will be the city's first year participating in this international event, motivating people around the world to find and document wildlife in their communities. Community involvement is encouraged for this free program, and a kickoff activity is scheduled for April 28th at Sunnydale Park. For more information, visit citynaturechallenge.org. The City of Barrie would like to remind all residents of the importance of complying with the city's bylaws and consequences of not following them. Enforcement services will begin a more proactive and zero-tolerance approach to the enforcement of city bylaws. Bylaws are in place to maintain safety, order, and quality of life for residents, including property maintenance, animal control, parking. To learn more about the city's bylaws, visit barrie.ca/bylaws, or for residents who have questions or concerns about the bylaws, contact enforcement services at 705-739-4241. The next Affordability Committee and General Committee meetings will be held on Wednesday, April 26, 2023. We will now move to bylaws. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Kungl, that leave be granted to introduce the following bills, and these bills be read a first, second, and third time this day and finally passed. Bill 034 and 035.
Deputy Mayor Thompson was looking for a blanket approval there forever. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Kungl that leave be granted to introduce the following bills, and these bills be read a first, second, and third time this day and finally passed. Bills 034 and 035. Are there any questions or comments with regards to the bills? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor, and it carries. Okay, Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Kungl, that Bill 36 concerning the zoning bylaw amendment for lands known municipally as 303 Cundles Road East, submitted by Pender North Limited, be deferred till the next City Councillor meeting scheduled for May 3rd, 2023.
We have a deferral motion moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Kungl, that Bill 36 concerning a zoning bylaw amendment for lands known municipally as 303 Cundles Road East, submitted by Panati North Barrie Limited, be deferred to the next council meeting scheduled for May the 3rd, 2023. This is motion 23-G-081 and 303 Cundles Road East. Are there any questions or comments with regards to the deferral motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, and it carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Kungl, that leave be granted to introduce the following bill, and this bill be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed. Bill 037.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Kungl that leave be granted to introduce the following bill, and this bill be read a first, second, and third time this day and finally passed. Bill 37. Are there any questions or comments regards to the bill this evening? Seeing none, all those in favor? It carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Kungl, that leave be granted to introduce the following bill, and this bill be read a first, second, and third time this day and finally passed. Bill 039. Confirmation.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson and seconded by Councillor Kungl that the confirmation bylaw, the leave be granted to introduce the following bill, and this bill be read a first, second, and third time this day and finally passed. Bill 039. Are there any questions or comments with regards to the confirmation bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor? It's approved. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Okay. I see Councillor Corser. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Kungl, all those in favor? It carries. We adjourn at 9.
That was the update from the City Hall. Thank you.